Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Skies of Arcadia Revisited. I'm Nye, and we're in the Valuan sewers, about to head on up into the Colosseum to save Captain Dine and the rest of the people from Pirate Isle. We just defeated the Bleigock and got ourselves a new item called a Vital Seed, which is going to be this thing right here. If we use it, it'll increase our max HP by 30. You can always save these things, but there's no real reason. You should just use them basically as soon as you get them. So I'm going to go ahead and use it on Vice, who, I basically use all the seeds on Vice. He's the character who never leaves the party for any reason, and, yeah, that's usually the person I want to give all my stuff to, because they will have to carry themselves sooner or later. So Vice is going to do that, and that's about all that we got just now. So we're basically ready to go. There's no reason for us to stop, so we're going to head in this direction. We're going to go up this ladder directly into our Colosseum, and also directly into a cutscene, so let's get going. So we can break into the Colosseum immediately. It gives us a chance to actually think about it first, just in case you didn't save, because it is one boss fight literally right after another, so the game wants to give you a chance to think about it first. So here's the Colosseum. You can see a bunch of people in the background, or sprites of them at the very least. And they're presenting the executions of the notorious air pirate Dine and his treacherous band of blue rogues. The executioner is this dude, who looks kind of evil with a gigantic shield in one arm and a gigantic axe on the other. Apparently their crimes include attacking Imperial airships and stealing precious cargo. Doesn't matter what they did to everybody else, it's just what they did against the Empire. The price of stealing from Valua is high, and Dine and his pitiful band will pay with their heads. And this is a very different type of, way to lose your head. You're going to lose it to the axe in that guy's arms. And if you look at that weird contraption they have in the middle, something tells me those are a pair of pliers in the middle of that stand there, and your head's going to be held like that while they swing the axe at you. And here is Vice himself along with the others coming out of nowhere. Dine does not seem particularly amazed to see him, and the other two make sure they know exactly what they're doing. They immediately go and attack their friends. Those guys run, and Aka's ready to free the others from this cage over here, so they're going to run off real quick. Everybody seems to know exactly what they're doing. This executioner seems kind of pissed that his show got stolen from him, but he's ready to fight immediately nonetheless. We have apparently deprived the audience from witnessing the deaths of a notorious band of air pirates, and they're going to witness our execution instead, so he's going to attack us immediately. On the other hand, Vice doesn't seem particularly worried about this, so they got, the audience doesn't seem particularly upset to Vice. He thinks they've gotten a show enough already. So now they're going to get to watch us beat the snot out of the executioner. What more could they want? And Vice just has to introduce himself immediately. So we got another boss fight. As I said, immediately, right off the bat. This boss fight's a lot harder than the Bleigock ever could be. So we have the executioner himself, and he is a big bad baddie. He is scary. You do not want to fight this guy. He's going to hurt your face. The problem is he comes with 2 Spell Wardens. These are mage-type enemies, and they really want to hurt your face. The problem with them is they have this really nasty habit of buffing the main baddie. So we want to get rid of them just about as soon as we can, because in addition to giving him an Enkrum bonus, and believe me, you do not want that guy to get an Enkrum bonus. Not that I'm going to be able to stop him. But in addition to giving him an Enkrum bonus, they'll also do AoE electric effects, and that's just not a good way to go. So we're going to do everything we can to get rid of these Spell Wardens as soon as possible. If I am incredibly lucky, and believe me, I probably won't be, but if I am lucky, I'm going to be able to take down the Spell Wardens before they can toss an Enkrum on this guy. He still has a lot of stuff that can hurt me, including the Sonic Wave, which deals a fair amount of damage, given the chance. Okay, so Vice now has his Enkrum bonus. We're going to make sure to toss another one onto Drachma, because I want him to be able to do as much damage to the Spell Wardens as possible. And it is my hope that we're going to be able to take our turns before that Spell Warden takes his, and that we land both of our attacks. If that happens, this is going to be a really easy fight. However, if that Spell Warden is given a darn, we missed. If that Spell Warden gets an Enkrum off, which he's not yet, he's making stupid decisions and he's casting attack spells. Now, these attack spells are going to do a lot to me. Like, they're going to do a fair amount of damage even with Enkrum up, because I don't have a lot of magic defense. But there is and that Executioner is going to go specifically after Aka. I got to make sure that Aka actually gets her Enkrum up really quick. And we just missed that Spell Warden with basically every attack we fired at him, which is really bad. I had a turn specifically to take him out, and it just didn't happen. Both of our attacks missed. So now that Spell Warden gets yet another chance to drop... Okay, the Spell Warden's guarding this turn. Again, this is good news for me. This means that I don't have to worry about the big baddie getting Enkrum. it means also that I get to get myself Incrum. That's basically exactly what I want. If all of my characters have it, it means a very high chance that I'm not going to die to this guy. Who's he targeting? I think he's targeting Drachma. If he is, that's good. Okay, he got both of them. That's the type of damage this guy can do, and that, remember, there's no Incrum on this guy. He just dealt incredible amounts of damage to my guys, and he does not have a boost on him. I think we're going to use that on Vice. Drachma's still, he's up and running. Drachma, you don't have to worry about it. He's going to do a lot of good stuff on his own. But Vice was taking a lot of damage, so we just used one of our biggest healing items on him to get him back up. And there goes that Spell Warden. So even though we took a lot of damage during this fight, we are now in a really good place. This guy's going down. He's going down fast. He's going to use a lot of spells. Not worried about it. He can use them all he wants. It's not going to save him. The electric spells tend to be line. They're not AoEs. They shoot in a line like that. But, yeah, it's going to be easy stuff. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to make sure that Aka stays up. So she's going to use a Sacri Crystal. We're just going to all-out attack this guy and just make sure that we do damage to him. Because we were able to get Incrum up on all of us, and because he wasn't able to get it up, it means that he does not have the increased defense, which would stop us from dealing that much damage to him. It also means he doesn't have the increased attack, which means that I'm not going to take as much damage as I otherwise would have been. So he goes from really pissy boss mode to basically a standard enemy that just happens to have a really powerful AoE attack. Who is this going to hit? Okay, that's fine. We're doing absolutely fine here. This is exactly what I'm looking for. So we're going to go ahead and use a tackle, and that probably is going to kill him right there, depending on what he does. You can hear our victory music starts up, and that takes him out right there. As I said, he's basically a standard enemy once his backup goes down. In the past, I have lost to him multiple times. That is a fight that I have lost to because I didn't stop the Incrum from landing on him. And at this level, right now, we have no way to stop a buff like that from landing on an enemy. In the future, we'll have ways to get rid of those buffs on enemies, and ways to save ourselves and get ourselves back up. But this could have been a very scary fight without that. But that is a boss fight 1, which is absolutely fantastic. Confetti's dropped, Vice plays to the crowd. Because, come on, he just broke into the Colosseum, saved the day, and beat the crap out of the guards. Now he's escaping as well. Just absolutely fantastic. So now we're down here. So as I said, the Bleigock down here was eating the corpses of everybody who died up there. So that could have been Captain Dan right there. Just shows exactly how badass Vice can be. So we're going to go off this way and run away from the Colosseum. Where are we going to go? We go to the lower city, but they know our names by now. But Marco's here to save the day, so let's just go ahead and save right here real quick, because that was a bit of a thing right there. Good. Now let's talk to Marco. Hey, Marco. So he's kind of proud of us. We rescued our friends. He can't believe it. We're really something. So he's here. He lives here, so he knows everything about these sewers. So this wall was built with a secret door, and he took our friends into the secret room just behind him. So he's been a hero here, because apparently we stirred him into action with our words. So what we're going to do is right now we're in this room. We've got 2 more treasure chests we have to grab. So let's grab this one, which contains some Sacri crystals. Grab this one, which contains some magic droplets. And that's going to be the last two treasure chests in the Valuan sewers. So now we're 100% up to this point. We can talk to our friends here, talking about... there was some sort of rail car they were on, metal boxes all lined up one after the other, some, big, long bug. So they'll talk to us about that, give us some ideas around here. I never cease to amaze them. Glad I showed up. No, it's not anybody following us. Just have to try to figure out a way to get out of Valua. That's all these guys are talking about. They're so proud of me, yada, yada, yada. Can't believe we actually did it. Been a while since we had so much fun. Get to pound on Valuans in their own country. All sorts of useful information. The only person we want to talk to is Captain Dine, because he's got to be proud of us for that, right? We're gonna get congratulations, a pat on the back, a hug. We were a little late. If we were any later, he'd be a whole head shorter. Yeah, we were late. There you go. He always knew we were tough, but breaking into a public execution, freeing all of us, now he thinks we're just kind of crazy. But, we get it from Dine, right? Vice is not ready to take over as the head of the Dine family. Of course he's got a smart-ass comment to make. He's looking around and realizes that someone's missing. Fina is not here. Apparently they captured them from Parrot Isles, and they took her in a different direction. Dine overheard some soldiers talking about taking her on to the Valuan Imperial Palace. And Vice realizes that if she's taken to the palace, it might be really hard to catch up to her. Apparently, Empress herself wants to meet Fina, and that could be a big deal. Diane's got a feeling there's more to that girl than meets the eye. She's probably a transformer. She knows something important enough to have Valua after her, so we've got to save her from that. What are you gonna do? Well, it's time for another swashbuckler comment, and, you know, the careful and, wimpy type of swashbuckler might go and stay laid low for a while. We don't call them swashbucklers, we call them wussies. So instead, we're gonna have to go and save Fina. Of course we have to go save her. The guards are scattered, the whole island's in chaos because of 2 kids that happen to burst in with an old man on an old ship. It'll be dangerous, but it looks like now is their best chance to strike. But Dine wants us to take something. He says it's a little early to giving this to us, but considering the circumstances, he'll make an exception. It's got to be a gun, right? Like something really powerful. But no, it's the yellow moonstone, so we're allowed to use the power of the yellow moons. Gives us the properties of lightning. Now, he gives it the exact wrong moment, because it's actually in the middle of Valua, and Valua is all about lightning, so you don't want to use that here. We'll use that another time. Draco's going to take all the air pirates back to Little Jack to wait for us, to be ready to leave as soon as they open the gates. If those gates open, it's our only chance to escape, so we might be left behind if we don't get there in time. Drachma thinks we should go up to the upper city, and we might be able to sneak aboard a rail car. We just heard about that. It looks like a gigantic steel bug. It's going to be on the way to the palace. Marco wants, Vice wants Marco to tell him how to get to the upper city, and Marco's like, well, if you go down that particular tunnel, that one right there, yes, that one, you'll be able to reach the upper city. But there's tons of guards up there, so it's going to be suicide. You shouldn't go. It's too dangerous. Let's just leave. But Vice responds says, no, I'm too much of a badass for that. The protagonon surges through my veins. In the midst of the storm, I can see one path that will get us out of Valua, and I've got to try. Let's go, Eka. Let's save Fina. Vice just gets all the badass points. He's not very intelligent, and Drachma has left the party again. We received the Yellow Moonstone. You know, Vice is probably not all that intelligent. He likes to do stupid things a lot, and you gotta understand, I mean, he's got the badass points. He can't not do stupid things. But that's absolutely fine, because he's the protagonist. There's no way he could possibly lose, and apparently he knows that. As you can see, without Drachma, the fights are going to be a little bit different. The game does reduce the amount of enemies that we can encounter at once, because it knows that we can't potentially handle as many as we could earlier. We also gain less SP, which means it's going to be harder for us to drop things like, you know, Lambda Burst. Get ourselves healed up real quick, because that fight took a lot out of us. So we're going to make sure to go over to Eka, because she's the one that has all the MP, and we're going to have her go ahead and use her MP to heal both of them. So it's only going to take 1 MP per 500 health, and outside of battle, the MP is definitely better to use than the items. Items are really good in battle, because you're not going to have to take up any SP to use them. You're just going to have to take up a turn that you were going to have to take up anyways. So definitely a good thing to do. So now that we get over to this waterfall of Ickness... In fact, we haven't seen this one before, this little bat-like thing that we have over here. These are another one of the swarming enemy types, so we're likely to get a lot of these. These are another type that can actually summon friends. Kind of annoying, just a little bit. So we're going to definitely want to make sure we get rid of these fast. They are also electric types, so they're going to go ahead and zap us good. Luckily, their magic attack isn't particularly high. But, you know, they can do a lot of it. And again, they can summon more friends. We want to get rid of as many as possible. So the AoE ability is going to be a huge thing for us in the near future, especially being able to get AoEs off early. So as soon as we're able to get, you know, like, it's not going to happen for a long time, but the ability to get 8 action points as early as possible, it's going to be fantastic for us, because it means we'll be able to, if we can do 8 action points in 1 turn, which, believe me, that's going to be a possibility in the not-too-distant future. When we're able to do that, we're going to have the extremely awesome ability to take out entire swarms of enemies on turn 1. And that's fantastic. That's exactly what we're looking for. And potentially, you know, if everybody else lands their hits, we might be able to defeat entire battles in just one go. That's what we're going to be looking for here. Now, I'm just basically going to let... just going to let Aika get up to her silence ability, which should be her next spell, I believe. Something close to it. But whenever we get the next spell from Aika, that's all I'm doing. I don't really care much about purple much past that. We're probably going to move on to, I don't know, blue or something. Maybe even green, because a new heal spell would be kind of nice. But I am going to move up to a new spell. I'm getting tired of using purple because it's not giving me anything I want. Now, as soon as we hit this ladder, it's going to be a new cutscene. This time, well, it's going to be Marco who wants to talk to us. Wait, Vice, don't go. I need to talk to you. Marco looks so dejected. The body language. Marco followed us for some reason. He looks kind of upset. We've got the, you know, emotional music in the background. And Marco's begging us not to go up there. Commenting that his mother and father were both killed by Valuan soldiers when they were trying to escape from the city. There's no way out, and that trying to get to through the Grand Fortress is absolutely impossible. No one has ever escaped from Valua, and we're just going to die this time. Even though he saw us completely beat the ever-loving crap out of the guards, he thinks we're not going to make it this time around. Vice has to just apologize for his parents. But, you know, he has to go. There's no choice. He's got to save people, and every time he hears the word impossible, it makes him want to prove people wrong. So one of these days, we're going to tell him, Vice, it's impossible to survive a dive from the top of Shrine Island into deep sky. A long time ago, a handful of sailors took a small boat out to uncharted skies. They had no idea what they would find. Monsters, a maelstrom, the end of the world, all the stuff that Vice was talking about earlier with Fina and Aika on top of Lookout Island. But it was because these sailors challenged the unknown that new lands were discovered. Come on, buck up, kid. If we challenge ourselves and never give up, our own horizons will broaden in our hearts and in our minds. Oh, it's so sappy. I need to push myself every day. I have to know what I can accomplish. I never give up, and so far, nothing has ever stopped me. And I do not want to be there when something finally does. But Vice... Don't worry about me. I believe that we'll make it out. I will find a way, and that's what's keeping me going. The protagonon is strong in this one. I'm going to prove that it's not impossible to escape. Impossible is just a word that to let people feel good about themselves when they quit. That's actually a pretty good point. So Marco wants to know if he could ever be a sailor, if he could ever sail the skies. That's just a weird thought, right? Sail the skies? Vice is just like, thumbs up, dude. Come on, you got what it takes. I was only making fun of you earlier about this exact same thing. And I'll be waiting for you outside. So Marco, sudden smile on his face, he's totally ready to give Vice a thumbs up to go and get himself killed. Did I say that? So here's the Imperial Guard, and there's Fina standing in front of Empress Theodora. Lord Galcian brings good news, Your Majesty. Indeed I do, Your Highness. I'm sure you will be pleased. As you have requested, my forces have captured a Sylvite. Here's Empress Theodora, the ruler of the Valuan Empire. Excellent work, Galcian. You have yet to fail me. Notice the yet in there. She wants him to fail. So this is what a Sylvite looks like. Such a beautiful girl. Her clothes are interesting and a nice specimen. Today we have taken another step closer to our main objective. Soon the Valuan Empire shall rule the world. Of course that's what she wants. Fina does not look all that happy about this. Theodora notices this, seems she doesn't seem too happy, wants her to rejoice and witness their finest hour. That she has the knowledge that they seek and she can assist them. And that all that oppose them shall fall, their islands will be reduced to ash and dust. Anyone who stands in their way will be destroyed. And Fina will help them. This man looks a little bit less than interested in this. Is the Prince of Valua, Enrique, commenting that ruling the world by force is not something he's sure he approves of. That an empire that does not listen to the plight of its people is destined to fall. Remember, he's sitting here in the palace, while to one side of him, there's poor people everywhere struggling to live, and he's still saying all of this. And she's commenting that Enrique still has much to learn and cannot walk the path of an emperor and concern himself with the petty words of the people. Keep in mind, it's the same Enrique who's wearing body armor in the middle of the castle. He kind of expects something stupid to happen. But she's commenting that she's building an empire for him, since he shall inherit the throne when she passes on. He should pay more attention. Hopefully, that will happen quite soon. She knows that there are 6 moon crystals, and that they have been scattered all over the world. She also knows that he who controls the moon crystals controls the weapons of mass destruction that her people refer to as the Gigas, and that when the Gigas are theirs, they shall rule the world, and wants to know where to find the moon crystals. Fina immediately reacts, saying that she will die before she tells her, and Theodora is shocked to find that this girl is not giving her what she wants immediately. Fina is telling her she doesn't understand how powerful the Gigas really are, and that they are great weapons of destruction built by the old world that are more powerful than Theodora can imagine. Theodora seems smug, saying that's why she needs them, why they must have them. She's the most powerful empire, they should have full control over the most powerful weapons in the world, and once they have them, they'll rule the rest. Fina does not seem all that happy about it, saying humans must never again control the moon crystals or the Gigas, and that power-hungry dictators like Theodora, the woman who has her life in her hands, are the reason humans must never control them. Theodora doesn't seem all that happy, saying that the Empress of the Great Valua Empire in her own house is being insulted, and that, the Sylvite who she fought so hard to get must be killed immediately, off with her head. Enrique is telling her that she's got to think about it, that she can't kill her, she's not done anything wrong. The girl's innocent, even after she insulted her, but, she still wants this little girl killed. Fina's pleading, not for her life, but that the Gigas should be understood and, estimated correctly, and a guard comes over and whaps her on the back of the head. Luckily, it was with a blunt instrument, but she's probably going to have a damned good headache. Suddenly, Lord Galcian learns that some blue rogues have broken into the Colosseum and freed the rogues themselves, and he's going to go handle it personally. He demands the girl to be taken to the ship and brought to the Grand Fortress immediately, understanding that she might be the target of all of this. He seems a little bit pissed. He wants to deploy the Armada to take the girl to find the moon crystals, like he can do it by himself. Theodora agrees, and Galcian gets his permission. And he has a request. He would like to request that a new addition be made to their highest-ranking officers. He wants his Vice Captain Ramirez to be promoted to Admiral. Fina seems to understand that name. And Theodora just gives him carte blanche to do whatever the hell he wants, and wants in return to give her his word that he will bring her those crystals.
Yes.
Should be pretty easy, right? As you wish. And all of a sudden the soldier's going to get Fina up and march her along. She seems to acquiesce rather easily to this one, but that name seems to mean something to her. Well, it's onwards and upwards. Gotta get ourselves out of these dank and nasty sewers. So now we're in the upper city, and you can see what people dress like up here. This woman's hiding her face, and I hope so, because she looks like one ugly broad. Only those of wealthy stature, born in noble blood, live here. It's a much harder life in the upper city than you might think, because there are so many plays and parties. She is so busy. I feel so bad for her. There's this fat woman over here, saying the bathtub in her house is made out of gold. Pure gold. But something is missing in her life. She'll need her toilet to be made out of pure silver. That'll match. You can see how hard it is for people's lives up here. What about this little kid over here who's nomming on ice cream? His mommy told that people in Lower City rarely get to eat white bread. Oh no. But that's stupid. If they can't eat bread, why don't they just eat cake? I imagine that kid's head's going to be cut off in the very near future. Probably by pissed off, the people he's talking about in the first place. Yeah, am I a nobleman? Yes, of course I am. I am from the great family Dine. From the Dine family. The Dine family. I don't seem to recall any noble families of such a name. Just looking at you, I can tell that you come from a noble military family. He'll try to remember my name. You really well should. You can answer whatever you want to say. I'm a relative from Admiral Malfonso. What? I'm so sorry for my insolence. I did not realize you were of such import. Now that you mention it, you do have very noble and elegant features. Splendid. Yeah, I feel dirty. Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and save here, because we got a lot of stuff we have to do immediately upon starting the next episode, which I'm going to get to work on right now. I'll see you guys next time. We're going to go and escape out of Valua. Not that we didn't do a lot already by escaping out of the Colosseum, getting the last 2 treasures to be found in Valua, and escaping out of the sewers, getting ready to save Fina herself. It's going to be a lot of fun when we start up again. I'll see you guys soon.